Thank you for tuning in to this morning's Endcast news stream. Our top story is there seems to be a growing protest at the United Nations headquarters. Now, there's been an emergency session of the General Assembly being called due to some recent events involving Nova violence and other unrest. With me is Paul Carl. Can you tell us about some of the recent incidents, Paul, that might have spawned this session and the protests?
Yes, well, I will. It turns out that recently, in international news, Libya has become a main focus about Nova violence, especially the intercession of Team Tomorrow in the account of a some sort of warlord taking control of a compound, as well as several child soldier battalions, as it were. They were able to intercede, but this has raised many questions from the international community about the role that Novas play, even if they're beneficent, as Team Tomorrow commonly is, in their sort of role in geopolitics.
Now, I know we don't have a lot on this other topic, this attack on this compound out in Connecticut. What do we know about that, Paul?
That is scarce, but what we do know is quite disturbing. There was supposedly some sort of attack, some sort of violence by claimed to be by Novas. Various witnesses have stated that various um, altered humans of the Nova variety came into the compound to wreak havoc, and several people lost their lives that were defending the compound. Now, this group that supposedly claims this happened are the Archangel Michael derivative of the Christian faith, and we are still trying to get leads on this story. There is not a lot of information other than what the accounts from these um, uh,
Religious figures.
yes, thank you.
Yes. So do we have any evidence to suggest Terrigen involvement?
There has been a few accounts of individuals of pronounced transformation, ones that would those novas that are heavily altered because of their quantum abilities. So the Terrigen, as far as I know, have not officially taken credit for such an attack, but it has only been fairly recent, within a few days. So um, generally, they would have put out some sort of release, or the count would have put some spin on it, but we shall see in the next few days as more things develop.
We've been waiting to hear from Count Oraziz on the matter, but nothing has been responded to as of yet. But back to the protest, and then the screen clicks off. Um, we are in the office of Count Oraziz. He is behind his desk, and with him is Rant and Sovereign. Eidos is sitting off to the side, sort of glowering a bit. And he says, "Thank you two for coming. I understand it's only been a few days since your outing. Uh, I wanted to make sure you had some time to have R&R process things, but there seems to be a bit of a situation brewing that I think your talents would be suited for. But first, how are the two of you doing?"
Fine. The
I mm,
oh, go ahead, Cassie.
no. You go first.
No, fine. I think it wasn't it didn't roll out exactly the way we'd hoped. There was some, but we got the kid out. That's what matters.
Yes. Very, very well done on that front. This young man, we've got him in a harvester facility, and we are helping him come to terms with his captivity, the trauma that was inflicted, as well as his abilities and changed form. But you all did a very good job. I want to let you know that everyone in the Terrigen is praising your efforts on behalf of that young Nova.
No.
Sovereign, you were saying.
I feel a little bit resentful that I was put in a situation in which I had to shoot somebody. And I'm still trying to get over it, I think.
I see.
I guess I'm happy that we saved that kid. and whatever. But I have never felt more out of place in my life. I shouldn't have been there.
That
Well,
is
go ahead.
something to note. Just know, I mean, even I'll speak with Shrapnel if you felt pressured in any way to go on that. Just
Yeah.
know that we will never force you to do anything that you don't want. Did you feel as though you were forced to go?
I was definitely feeling a little bit peer pressured. Um, it's hard to look at Fawn in the eyes and say, I'm sorry, I don't want to break onto a compound to save a child from, the stuff that you got saved from. And I felt like I couldn't say no.
Hmm.
What do I look like? Do I look like Rambo? I didn't belong there. I don't know
Well,
how to shoot a gun. I'm not from Pueblo, Mexico. I don't instigate riots.
well,
I shouldn't have been there.
you have some of that potential in you, but if I could comment, Sovereign, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for every Nova, not even Terrigen, we will have to be put in situations that are deeply counter to what we want. As time progresses and more Novas come about, and humans grow more fearful of our abilities, conflict will happen. Now, I will not say you will have to shoot them or do extreme violence to them, but you will need to prepare yourself for violence. That is unfortunately a truth about our existence. Um,
Yeah. I
Regardless,
never.
you did very well. You did what
Yes.
needed to be done in the moment, and you should be
Okay.
proud of that.
I guess I am. Ugh.
Anyway,
I'll be okay. Don't.
good,
Whatever.
good. Like I said, we wanted to give you a few more days and perhaps some time with some counselors, but he sort of motions to the muted TV screen. There is a situation brewing, and we think that there's an opportunity for us to capitalize upon it. And he points to both of you, your skills, we think, would be invaluable in shaping the narrative, as it were. Of course, there's protests regarding all manner. The Michaelites are protesting as well as other baseline organizations, but we would like to push our own point of view in this situation, specifically the matter of Sluice. Are either of you familiar with Sluice and his situation?
No.
No, not exactly.
Right, right. Well, it's something we've been working on. As you know, a few years ago, that uppity mayor from Miami decided to put a ban on novas. And of course, Garon's response to that was the more publicly known and exaggerated. But Sluice actually acted first. He went to Miami in an act of peaceful civil disobedience
Right.
and was apprehended. And he has not been released. He is either in, we don't know exactly where he is. There's conflicting reports. Either he's in Project Utopia custody or he's in federal United States government custody. It's been very close flowing through the courts. And frankly, this is unacceptable. We have arranged for roughly 200 members of baseline Cultus Novus and Pandemonium followers to be at your disposal. And we would like our message to be heard in these protests using any means at your disposal.
Oh.
Right. So what I'm hearing is you want a protest that may turn into a mini riot.
A contained riot. Don't try and we don't want a massacre on the steps of the UN, but make our point heard.
it would be foolish on everyone's part if actual Team Tomorrow members had to be called in.
Right. So
Yeah.
you want a protest that gets loud and frustrated.
And most importantly, one that puts our message about our fellow Nova and fellow Terrat in unjust custody out into the
Yeah.
world.
Okay.
Right. So we want to say, hey, free this freedom fighter.
Free sluice. An act of civil disobedience does not call for years of indefinite detention.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Even amongst the laws of baseline humanity, that is unacceptable.
Agreed.
So, as I said, you have about roughly 200 people at your disposal. Deploy them as you will. If you need any resources or information, anything of that matter, you'll be going through Eidos. He's once again going to be following up. There's a developing situation that we're having your teammates look into right now. So he'll be switching his time between backing you up and backing them up. So know that his response might be a little lagged. But for now, you should get to it. The situation is not getting any more, the iron is not getting more hot.
Okay.
Sovereign, can you sing?
I've kind of been dabbling.
Because I think this is a good opportunity for us to do an impromptu show.
Yes, I would like that. Let's do that. Let's do it, Rant.
Fantastic. We have a car waiting to take you and our followers to the site. So please do your planning en route.
Right.
All right.
We now move a few blocks to the south in Project Utopia Tower, in the office of Alexander, where Waterlily and Schwarzschild have been called. It's been similarly a few days since your outing in Libya, and to note, you guys have yet to actually ever have a meeting with Alexander since that point. It's been a lot of Team Tomorrow. You've been debriefed by Cestus Pax. Corbin has come by to kind of give you guys more of the down low, and you guys know that your reputation amongst Team Tomorrow specifically has risen significantly as a result of that. But you have yet to actually have a meeting with Alexander. So we come into the meeting.
Please come in. Please close the door. We have a good many things to talk about.
Of course. And she'll close the door and sit down.
Virginia, Levon, how are you all both doing?
It's I think we're all right. How are you?
I'm very busy, as you, which is typical for me. Yes. Levon, you doing all right?
I'm doing all right. Yeah.
That situation you were involved in, I have been briefed about it. Unfortunately, fairly recently. You did good work.
I wasn't sure if you were going to be irate.
No, absolutely not at you. You guys did what you were trained to do. So never let that be in doubt. There were some miscommunications on my end of things, but you did the right thing, and those children were saved, which is ultimately what's important.
Both of you can roll empathy if you'd like.
Yes. I'll do empathy and cunning.
Okay.
Same.
That sounds appropriate.
I do not have a large dice pool.
Let me re-roll the 10. That is 4 successes.
I also got 4 successes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So what do they read on Alexander?
You see, he is tired. He's more tired than he's letting on. So when he said his work has been busy, he's not kidding. It's been extremely busy for him. But definitely when he made the comments about, unfortunately, that when he was briefed recently, it definitely indicates, based on tenor of his posture and his voice, that he's very frustrated at something involving you all, but it's obviously not directed at you or your team. If you have any questions, I'll let you guys have a question or two.
When he is explaining his recent meeting, do his eyes go to any particular paperwork on his desk or anything around in the area?
Yeah, there's a few pieces around, like on his right. Like it's connected to a clipboard, so just like there's one little pile right there. If you guys don't have any more questions, we'll just continue the scene as normal.
Mhm.
So, but beyond the things that have happened, I've gotten reports based on your debriefing and the reports in the field. You all did very well, as I said, and as such, resources and training can be more allocated to you and your team in the foreseeable future. It will take some time to get everything cleared, of course, but it's definitely a reward worth giving for the work that you did. Unfortunately, as much as I would love for all of you to be together on this, there is a very rapidly developing situation down in the UN Assembly that we need some coverage on. And there are a lot of other people that are unfortunately tied up at the moment, and I think your two skill sets would adequately do what we need done.
She will look curiously at that one over at Schwarzschild because their skill sets are so very different.
There is a lot of planned protests over the next day or two that involve Nova interaction on both a international scale and a local scale. You obviously were a part of the Libya situation, but are you familiar with the attack on the Archangel compound?
I remember hearing about it on the news, but I mean, seemed like random Terrat raid, you know?
It was not random. It
Hmm.
was our sources are better than anything that the media has, and it's stating that the Terrigen specifically targeted this anti-Nova compound not just to destroy something, but to retrieve someone. They actively recruited a new Nova, but in the process killed nearly a dozen people. We have no sympathy for anti-Nova sentiment here in Utopia. However, the drastic loss of life is nothing we can ignore, even if it's the lives of bigots, unfortunately. Because
Right.
of this, we know the UN is bringing old ideas and policies up, and they will be discussing them, which means there will be protests involving either for or against these policies. And we would like you to present on the ground outside in the middle of these protests to be not just a physical presence and a representation to bolster the pro-utopia side of things, but if there is to be any bad actors or any instigation, you can be there to quickly and succinctly deal with the situation, especially if those actors are Novas.
That makes sense, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Currently, go ahead.
I was going to ask, what exactly are these protests going to be covering? I mean, I know you mentioned some sort of policies, but anything in particular?
Nothing that is. I would hate to bore you with the details, but to summate to you, many of these policies have to do with the role of Novas in security, as well as international aid and intercession, aka what you all did in Libya and the role that Utopia has in all of that. Because Utopia does have a seat on the the UN Security Council.
Yeah, don't
Um,
ever think that you would be boring us, Alexander, with these things. These are our lives. These policies all apply to us.
I apologize. When I say boring, I mean they're extremely technical.
Hmm.
And while I'm not belittling your intelligence at all, I'm just stating that there are so many and they're so varied amongst country to country that it would take hours to go over.
Right.
You are welcome if you really wish to read these papers. I can have them sent to you, and you can review them yourself.
I would
Okay.
like that. Yes, please.
Okay, I will
Yes.
make a note of it. He actually takes a pen and writes something down. I will hopefully within the day you will be able to research that. But regardless, the main orders that we have for you is to go to these protests, keep the peace, but do not directly interfere unless another Nova is instigating the situation. If this could be very overt, or this could be subtle, so you'll have to use your best judgment on this. But you need to confirm that they're a Nova, and then you may proceed.
Understood.
All right.
Do you have any specific questions or requests? Do you need any resources from us?
You is there any intelligence to back this, or is this just a simple concern? Are we mainly preventative, or do you know there's trouble coming and you're just finding a polite way of not saying it?
I believe I have no definitive evidence, but the wind is all blowing in the same direction. See what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
There are reports that there are elements in the Nova community and the baseline community that have Nova sympathies that are unhappy with some of the situations that have happened. There are going to be a lot of different groups here. Some will be for Utopia, some will be against Utopia, some may be against all Nova kind. So you will need to, as they say in military terms, have your head on a swivel.
Yeah. And we got our rules of engagement, so
Yes.
no, I'm good. I don't think I need anything else.
Okay.
I mean, if there's, I know, I believe I know the answer to this, but of course, if it's a non-Nova instigation that would cause harm, like physical harm to those around them, I assume that's equally within our purview.
Yes. To prevent harm and the loss of life is a top priority, regardless of who's instigating it. However, if you are assured or confident that it is purely baseline instigation, use the utmost restraint that you have.
Of course. Okay, I understand. This
Excellent.
seems pretty cut and dry.
There will be some operatives, Utopia operatives within the crowd that may assist you. Or if you need backup and quickly, you can use our security line, and you should be able to patch into them rather abruptly.
Will those be plainclothes officers?
Some of them will, yes.
Okay.
The UN obviously has their own security detail, as well as a local NYPD will be present. Many of these protests are planned and sanctioned. Therefore, they have all the rights and permits, as far as I can tell, to perform their acts of public expression.
Do we have a liaison with the UN security forces?
You will not.
Okay.
If you need something, you are free to call me, and I will work to get in touch with them.
All right.
There's a knock at Alexander's door.
Yes, come in. He hits a button, and the door automatically opens.
It's one of Alexander's assistants. She comes in with a briefcase, and she comes in and puts it on the door. The communicators are ready, actually, sir. She opens it up, and there's these two sort of like wrist-mounted kind of small Pip-Boy looking things, and say, these have been specially attuned and encrypted to keep you in touch with our operatives, as well as a direct line to Alexander.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So she sort of just indicates them.
And he gets up, looks at them, and then hands them to each of you, and then puts his own on.
I'll hold mine up and kind of take a look at it. Are these things insured? Because if I gotta turn it all on, I would hate to break something that's worth a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Do what you have to, but you should be able to attune to them.
All right.
They are some of our latest technology, quantum technology, in order to help facilitate integration and prevent anyone from altering them or damaging them. So if there is some nova with some sort of technological bent, they should have a pretty hard time getting through to those.
Oh, that's nifty. I'll go ahead and clap mine on my left wrist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it like snakes, like it hits, and then it immediately like gently like wraps around your wrist and locks in place. And it's already started. You see a little dial that says it's initializing. And it's already started slowly. That dial slowly going up.
Eh,
So Waterlily will also fasten hers on as well.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, there you have a little bit of time, but there is a car waiting for you, and you can leave at any time you wish.
I think I need to get a couple of things back from the room. Lily, you mind coming with?
Yeah, not a problem.
All right. Keep in touch, and good luck.
So what are you getting from the room, Yvonne?
I'm going to talk to our fifth member and say, hey, can you try to hack this?
They blink a few times and say, no.
I thought you were like all about the tech stuff.
I use technology.
Yeah, I was about to say
What do you want happening?
Nah, it's okay. I thought
Like there may be something I can do based on what you do. My powers are like I said, I'm more of a scientist than a techie. But what do you want? What can I can try.
well, Alexander said that these things can't be altered or hacked, so I'm curious. I want to see how well it stands up to some of our best minds, and you know,
I don't know. I'm not one of no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do that. And they actually like close up their laptop and like get up.
All right. Well, no worries.
no harm was meant.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's just I don't like seeming incompetent. They just run into their room.
You didn't mean to.
Sorry.
I am curious why you would want the equipment broken prior to us leaving, though.
I mean, understand that my own physical capabilities do make this phrase a little silly, but I don't trust Alexander as far as I can throw him.
Oh, come on. Why?
I mean, all of that leading up to it, and just, I don't know.
I had a look. I'm really tired of the word children as well, but he was. I meant it when I said that he'd given us a deal. He was trying to help us when I got before everything fell. It didn't fell apart before everything happened.
I know. It's just, he says that we can't do nothing, that there's all this stuff going around. He calls us children, and then we go out and do. And today it's all, smiles and praise and good job and more resources are available to y'all. That just, don't that rub you the wrong way?
I was expecting something different. I don't quite know where we stand, but I'm sort of just trying to keep one thing in front of me at a time. And right now that's, let's do this. Let's handle this thing. And, then I'll look further into I'm still confused about some of what they were doing in Libya with those kids. I am going to keep looking into that. But for the moment, we've got this in front of us.
Sure. Yeah, we do. All right. I guess we'll just take the car. Tactically, anything you want to discuss before we get there? I mean, I'd much rather let you take the 4 unless there's a robot stomping towards us.
I'm mainly just going to try and keep an eye out for behavioral signs, high stress, high tension. Trying to watch for where we move from people with legitimate passions and concerns to be expressed into responses that are hostile or dangerous to themselves or those around them.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if I see one, and then we'll try and mark out, whether it's something that needs to be better brought to the attention of the local authority, or if this is something we need to actually involve ourselves with.
If
It'll
it's
be a lot of watching.
something, say what?
It'll be a lot of watching.
Yeah, I suspect as much. If something does happen, unless there's something that can go toe to toe with me, I mean, I'm more as likely to just fly the problem out of there. Someone rolls up with a bomb or something, I can just grab them and fly straight up. I'll be fine.
I worry about that philosophy on you sometimes, but sure. Yeah, no, and I'm of a similar bent where if we have to end up using any of our abilities, then a situation has gone a place I really was hoping it would not. So I'm really hoping for a very boring day.
Oh, I agree. If I got to turn on my glow, then there is a problem.
But
All right, so you guys make it your way down to the car. It's a kind of a secure SUV that starts bringing you guys over to the area of the UN headquarters. Back at the Blackburn, you guys are shown to a number of vans and buses that are sort of congregating in front of the hotel. There is 2 distinct flavors of people who have been sort of corralled into this. One, you've got sort of very high fashion party people vibe, kind of like they definitely seem like they're going to a concert kind of vibe. A lot of them immediately recognize Rant, and like you are sort of swarmed for autographs, as well as you, Sovereign. A lot of people recognize the both of you, and you spend a little bit of time like having to negotiate like a kind of a mob of people who are just like eager for your attention. The other half, or the other flavor, is a lot more conservative in attitude, but more intense in demeanor. They're wearing sort of conservative clothing. Some of them are wearing like kind of sci-fi looking robes or something. They look very, very weird, and they are paying attention to you as well. But this attention is much more, like I said, reserved and intense. Like they are just like giving you the awe stare and like trying to like follow you and observe you. And like some of them like come up and like offer you drinks. And like they actually cut through the mob of party people to get you into the cars so that you can do what you need to do.
As they're doing that, I point to like 4 or 5 people. I'm like, you make a sign, free sluice. You make a sign, free sluice. Spread it. I want 100 signs out there before we get there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Understand, absolutely.
I'm getting this shit start like trending on Twitter. Like, just give me a minute. If we have this many people, hell yeah. There's no way that all of them don't have Twitter.
I actually, real quick, you two can give me cunning plus technology rolls.
Hell yeah. What's this for?
This is an observation. So if you have anything that gives you bonuses to your sight or like seeing or noticing things, add that too.
Oh,
You
I
said
got
it was
2
cunning plus
successes.
technology?
Cool.
I only had 2 dice, so pretty good.
Hey, you're a Nova. You're great at things.
4.
Okay, yeah, you both, it's pretty obvious because you tell them, like, hey, we need signs, get signs. And they're like, yeah, they immediately go off and they start getting into, like, they have various other cars and vehicles. And they open up things and you see these basically duffel bags of stuff. Well, I wouldn't nothing looks immediately like a gun or anything like a bomb or anything, but they definitely have weaponry and armor there. So they were definitely geared up. They have like gas masks, stuff like that. They're definitely geared up for a full blown riot.
These dudes have riot gear, Rant.
Right.
They're fucking ready to go.
I'm sensing that maybe when I asked for clarification that I wasn't given quite the straight talk.
In regards to what?
If they're prepped for an actual riot, maybe we need an actual riot.
Oh, I love the way you think. Yeah, definitely. But like the tweets aren't riot flavored. Like we're not putting out the riot flavored tweets yet.
The goal from jump is, free sluice, get people excited, see what boils out, and if it needs to go
give him
there.
a trial or let him go, like that sort of thing. Like
Right.
give me something to tweet out. Come on, Rant. Come on, let's
100%. Free sluice. He deserves freedom. Let's see. Trial or out.
trial
Free
or
the
out.
Terrat 1. I don't know. I'm kind of running out of ideas here.
Oh boy, man.
Tweets are not my jam.
All right, don't worry. Trial or freedom. There we go.
Right. Oh, that's good. I like that.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
So I've got a song. I don't know if you've heard it. It's from my first album called Free Nova. And I think I can rework it so the middle verse is free sluice, and then like the free sluice.
That's actually really good. Did I listen to your first album? I feel like I did.
I'm sure I played it to you about 17 times, but that's okay. It's not my best. It was like that was about half the songs were pre-eruption, so fine.
So this guy, he killed the mayor, right?
No, not Sluice. That was Garyon that did that.
Can you actually tell me? You know what? Give me a second. I'm actually going to make sure I'm as educated on this as possible, because if I'm going to have to like talk shit, I better like get my shit on like point.
Right.
Scott, can I roll something, or can you tell me like what happened with this sort of event that someone researching it would know? Because I do not know, but Cassie is about to.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of years ago, the mayor of Miami basically put out an executive order banning specifically Terrigen members, but he used really imprecise language in that, so that it could be interpreted like all Novas or just Terrigen, or he threw around the word Aberrant a lot, which is basically a slur, although it's been reclaimed by a faction of the Terrigen. So it a lot of people thought that he was like using this language as a springboard to ban all Novas. And he just sort of pushed that through. He had pretty much support from the local legislature and the state legislature from it. But a couple days later, Sluice, who is a young Terrat, decided to test that and just basically very publicly showed up in Miami, and made no attempts to hide what he was, and he was immediately arrested and taken into custody, and then kind of disappeared into the system. And then a day after that, Garen marched into City Hall and ripped the mayor's head off. And basically no one was able to stop him from getting in, doing that, and getting out. And that really put like the Aberrant faction on like big time notice of media and government. Like it's basically the faction of the Terrigen that says, don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Sluice situation has been like covered. It's been papered over because of how extreme Garen's reaction was and how big of an effect it has. But as far as anybody knows, he's in nebulous custody somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. She just spends some time scrolling through her phone, just absorbing all of that. She has eidetic memory, and so she's just like, yeah, no, if anyone brings up any sort of argument, I'll have something. Just give me a second.
But if you want to make a culture roll to see how your tweets are going to go.
Oh, of course. So that would be culture and manipulation, or
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. If you want to be sneaky about it and like, yeah,
string together exactly the right type of words to
Yeah.
make people feel emotions, like a manipulative monster. Got it.
yeah, absolutely.
My mega manipulation just makes it
Increases your scale.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 4.
4 successes, and with your lead, like pretty decent leadership scale going already. What was basically a non-issue on social media right now is amongst like the top 5 trending. There's a lot of movement in the trending right now just because of this protest, and there's a lot going on. But Free Sluice is now like between number 5 and number 3.
Oh my gosh! Look, Rant, look.
Oh, great. Yeah, add a video clip. People love that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's sit next to each other and let's just do a quick little video that we're like on our way.
Right.
Cool.
And
Look
Free
cool.
Sluice.
I want you guys to act this out.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm
Hi.
on my way right now to the what is it? The Free Sleuth protest.
That's right. Yeah, right in front of the UN. That's where we're going.
I'm so excited. I've actually never done a protest in front of the UN in particular, so this is kind of like a first time for me.
It's gonna rock. I'm gonna do a little bit of singing. I think Sovereign's gonna join me. It's going to be lit, as they say.
All right. Well, I'd love to see you there. If you can't make it, that's fine. Spread this around. Free
And remember,
Sleuth.
Free Sluice.
Oh,
And that's the TikTok.
freedom or trial, baby.
That's the TikTok. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you guys start to move your way towards the UN with your buses and vans full of kooks.
Should I have brought my wire cutters? I should have brought them home. Well, no, wire cutters
No.
are suspicious.
Yeah, we don't need those this time, I don't think.
Yeah, I guess not.
You didn't bring your gun either, did you?
Oh, you're so fucking funny, Rant. You're a real fucking joker. Bringing a gun? No, I didn't bring the fucking gun, man.
All right. Just making sure I wasn't trying to well up any emotions this time.
Okay,
Anyway,
so you guys are on your way.
Yep.
Schwarzschild and Waterlily. You guys are driven to kind of a command center. It's kind of a big, it's literally a big tent that's like maybe a block or so away from the UN headquarters, where Project Utopia security teams and like social agents are coordinating efforts. You're driven up. You're shown to where your guys' sort of base camp is within the larger structure. There's all sorts of materials. There's banks of like video surveillance and audio surveillance. You can see where various drones are basically feeding pictures of the screen, and you guys get a pretty decent lay of what's going on. Like there's about maybe a dozen different particular groups that have all been sort of cordoned off and given a space, and they are in the process of like being rearranged and reshuffled to make sure that like groups that might be hostile to one another are kept at differing sides of things. But you see this big like digital readout of it looks like it's just under 90,000 people right now.
Wow.
And so you were sort of shown to your section, and says the sort of this young man with a earpiece and a clipboard says, "All right, well, we've all got our stuff to do. If you guys want to head out into the crowd or watch from here, it's absolutely up to you. We trust you as far as that's concerned, but just make sure to check in, let us know what you're doing, and where you might need resources."
Okay.
You got a preference for where you want to get deployed, Waterlily?
Oh, and there's another assistant right there. He's like, "Oh, please take these as you're heading out." He hands you basically a piece of paper that has a very basic map of the area, which with like actual graphics of this area is for this protest, this area is for this protest, this area is for this protest. So you can easily identify based on where you are where the protests are supposed to be.
Okay.
Actually, I would like both of you to make a culture roll for me, please.
Okay.
Ooh, culture, getting a workout this episode.
I'll do intellect culture.
Sure.
Uh, I'm curious, just in case a specialty applies. Oh, what are we checking for here?
You guys are just you're picking some details out of this particular map to see that to find some things out about it.
Sure. Okay. Never mind. Cool.
Yeah, the core clue is that you guys have like the map and the readout of where everything's going to be. But I just wanted to.
Sure.
Does my bullshit specialty apply?
Yes.
Okay. So I rolled 3 successes. Does my specialty give me
It'll give you an enhancement. Yeah.
enhancement? Okay, so that's 4 total.
4 total.
Okay. So the first thing that reaches out at you is you see one of the sections. It's not very big. It looks like it might accommodate up to about 500 people. But you check that and you sort of check the name, you pull up your phone, and that permit for that area has been issued to a fairly well-known charity that is managed by Count Orziz, who is the sort of spokesman for the Terrigen. And that just jumps out at all of you. And you guys have a number of successes to throw around if you want to ask any questions about that or about any other protester factions out there.
Do you want to go first, or do you have any ideas?
I do have one question. It's for a different section though. Do we feel we should be what are our odds of avoiding the group that are protesting our actions in Libya?
There is definitely a sort of there's definitely sort of this like big like anti-war, anti-intervention, Nova Watchdog kind of organization, a couple organizations of that line. They've been kind of grouped over to the west side of the building.
Mhm.
So there's people who might be particularly upset at what you did. Now, like I will say, as far as the media is concerned, very few people are raising a stink about the fact that you rescued a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one's really having anything bad to say about that. What they're having to say about is what the hell happened, who was involved, why did this not, why was this not on any UN declaration? Because as it stands, no one in the media knows exactly what happened in regard to like the warlord, the camp at all. The only concrete bit of data that's out there is that Team Tomorrow rescued kids.
Yep.
And everything else is kind of like a big question mark.
Yeah,
and the people who are pissed about that.
Okay, good. Okay, because I was wondering if it was related to diplomatic incident, but no, it's related to how did a warlord happen?
How did a warlord happen, and how did his compound explode, basically?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
like,
know.
what were the details? They know that you were involved, but no one has any footage or any like eyewitness accounts of anything that happened there. They just know some PR people told them this stuff happened. Team Tomorrow was involved.
Yeah, no,
Done.
because that particular group was not on the books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in regards to the actual, Count Orziz's group, then, what have they particularly listed their protest cause on file?
Yeah, you reference with Twitter, and you see a lot of hashtag free sluice going on. With that success, you will see that video from Rant and Sovereign.
Oh no.
Are they going to actually be here?
From the looks of it, yes.
Great.
And there will be a concert.
Well, Maybe that's the place where we need to be situated just in case, because that's definitively Nova activity.
It is, and his previous behavior has me leaving a question mark.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. I think it's kind of bullshit that Sluice is being locked up for as long as he has. You know,
I agree. It's very much a case of, there needs to be transparency in this case, but we just
there
need to make
needs
sure
to
things
be a
are okay.
case.
I agree.
You
I agree.
both notice that since you're kind of still in the camp, like that central command, there is a couple people that give you, like, you're talking about this, and they give them each other a look, and then they go about back at their business.
Are they wearing any particular uniform or marking?
Not marking. They look like they're other Utopia members, just other liaisons and stuff.
I'll look over to them and like try to catch one of their eyes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
a pair of them come over.
Yep.
How can we
All's
help?
well.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all got a problem with me expressing my thoughts and feelings?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We were just talking since apparently he holds up his phone and he shows the same Twitters of like, maybe y'all want to put some stuff out on social media too. Just contribute to the narrative in a maybe more positive way.
Yes. The to Schwarzschild, right? Correct.
That's right.
It's just the viewpoint about Seuss and all of that is, yes, it is going through the proper channels, but it may not be wise in a tense situation like this to air such ideas publicly.
I'll look around rather dramatically. Well, shucks, I didn't realize there were going to be so many cameras pointed at me here in this highly secure tent.
Just a word of caution. That's all.
I'll look to the second one and the one who spoke first and say, well, which is it? Do you want me to contribute to the narrative, or I look back to the second one, or do you want me to be more diplomatic?
I why not both? Just if known bad actors are going to be out there manipulating the tone of things, then you guys may want to use your fame to spread a more peaceful, positive message.
It's a reasonable request, Schwarzschild.
It is. I'm just trying to make sure that my content and tone will be in line with Utopia's desires.
I think what my colleagues is saying is that given everything else going on, the sluice matter is a distraction. It's a monkey wrench. It's there to muddle what's going on and to show spread confusion, and who knows what they'll use that for.
It's a convenient excuse for their activities.
I mean, yes, but it's 500 people out of 90,000.
And as long as they remain in good actor status, then it's well within their rights to express this opinion. So we'll keep an eye on it.
And we'll cut over to this sort of cordoned off area that's been apportioned to the sort of Terrigen factions influence here. And the buses start to roll in and the crazies start to pour out. Like you guys are kind of like borderline like held up on a palanquin kind of level of getting you guys up to like the stage area where there's already lines of reporters and cameras. The pre-show music is starting to blare out, and you guys are sort of like ushered up and like motioned up to the stage for you guys to sort of make your opening announcement.
Yeah, they're like, when you get up there, they're already like, Rant,
Yeah, so as we're getting moved up there, Rant's actually going to take charge as much as possible and be like, I want you to do this. I want you to go over there and do this. I want to stage people around, create a border, but I actually want you to turn that way. So when we start yelling, I want you to yell and get other people's attention and get them brought into what we're going to do here.
Make
All
a
right.
just
Command
kind of-
roll.
Yeah, command roll. Absolutely. That's what I'm about to say.
Okay.
See how well you command.
I'm going to use presence and command.
I believe in you.
This is my best roll, so I'm going to botch it. We'll see.
Oh, and yes, you have momentum. 4 momentum is in the pool right now.
5 successes.
Awesome. Plus, then your scale is 3 right now.
Believe so. With
Yeah.
with the baseline 1 for the celebrity, and then his mega presence.
Yeah. So yeah, and you got 5. You said.
Right.
Yeah, you get like 10 successes. So go right. Yeah, your people are moving and doing exactly what you want, and they are doing it to the fullest of their capability. Anyone who gives anyone else guff about what you're doing, they immediately say, "Hey, Rant said it," and they immediately shut up and go do their jobs.
And this engine of chaos starts to churn.
Hmm.
And that's where we'll end it this week. Tune in next time to see where things go from here on Aberrant Atomic Youth. Don't forget to follow the characters on Twitter to see more of the story, and follow Simulacra RPGs for updates on the show and the channel. If you'd like to support the show, you can subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels at Simulacra TV, but the best way is to go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios and become a patron. A big thanks to our $5 and up patrons. You keep the story going, and we couldn't do it without you. Until next time, remember, your legacy is our future.